Namaskar students and welcome. In this video, we are going to continue with 7 science lesson number 9 heat part 2. So let's continue. Last time we had finished till the good and the bad conductors of heat. These are the good conductors of heat, usually all the metals, and this is one example of bad conductors of heat. Plastic, glass, thermocol, clothes. There are many more examples of insulators or bad conductors of heat. So let's continue from here now. Effect of color. Do colors have effect on the absorption capacity of heat? The answer is yes. Dark or black clothes absorb more heat as compared to light colored clothes. Yes, light colored clothes are going to absorb heat rays, but they are also going to reflect back the same heat rays. But here the black color is going to keep on absorbing more and more heat rays, and it will reflect less heat rays as compared to the lighter one. So we wear light colored clothes in summer. Children, you must have also seen the cricketers or the players who are playing in the sun. They are usually wearing white color clothes. Expansion and contraction of substances. Due to heat, all substances, whether solids, liquids or gases, expand on heating and contract on cooling. Yes, children, all the substances are going to expand on heating. They become slightly bigger, and they are going to contract on cooling. They will come back to their normal shape and size. Next, we will see solids, liquids and gases one by one. Do they expand? The answer is definitely yes. But then how can we prove it? Solids expand on heating and contract on cooling. This is one of the experiment given in your textbook, children. Before heating, we will take a ring which is exactly passing through the ball, which is exactly fitting the ball. And then when we heat the ball, we will observe that it is not passing through the ring through which it was passing before. This means the ball has expanded and it has become slightly bigger. So this activity shows that solids expand on heating, and when this ball is going to cool down, it is again going to go back in its original shape, and then it will again pass through the ring. So solids expand on heating and contract on cooling. Liquids expand on heating and contract on cooling. See the setup of the experiment, children. We are going to supply heat from here, and this round bottomed flask is filled with liquid, and it is covered with a cork, and there is a glass tube passing through it. Now when we are heating this particular liquid, it will be having a particular level of water in the glass tube. And as you heat it, you will observe that this level of the water in the glass tube is going to rise above the level. It is going to go up. So this shows that liquids also expand on heating, and they will contract back, go back to its original form when we cool them, when they come back to the normal temperature. So liquids also expand on heating and contract on cooling. Now gases. Gases also expand on heating and contract on cooling. How do we prove it? Now here we have taken a round bottomed flask, and then there is air into it. It is covered, it is closed with a cork, and then there is a glass tube passing through the cork, and there's one drop of liquid placed in the glass tube. When we heat the empty round bottomed flask, the round bottomed flask is looking empty, but it is actually not empty. It is having air. So when we heat this round bottomed flask, then the air in it is getting heated up, and we will observe that this particular level of liquid, colored liquid, is going to go up. It will go slightly up. So this shows that even gases expand on heating and contract on cooling. Cooling means when they come back to their normal temperature. So now we know that the expansion and contraction takes place in solids, liquids and gases, all three. Now, who invented the thermos flask? The thermos flask is very famous. Most of us use it most often. But who was the person who invented the thermos flask? It was Sir James Dewar. Sir James Dewar was a Scottish scientist. He made the first thermos flask in 1892. That is why it is called the Dewar flask. Even today, a Dewar flask is used for keeping a substance cold or hot. Yes. So now let us see how exactly a thermos flask looks like. This is the structure of a thermos flask, children. A typical thermos flask looks somewhat like this. It is a double-walled flask. This is one wall, children, outside, and this is the second wall, which is inside. It consists of two glass tubes, one inside the other. This is one, children, one chamber. Inside one, the other one is placed. And the gap between them is sealed. Yes, this gap is sealed. These two layers. The gap is sealed here. The surface of both the tubes are made shiny by a silver coating. Yes, this outer layer will be made shiny from inside, and this inner layer will be made shiny from outside. The air between the two tubes is removed to create vacuum. This is the vacuum, children. This white space which you see is the vacuum. It is shown here. This is the vacuum. It is not possible to make 100% vacuum, children, but at least 90 to 95% vacuum we make. For extra protection, pieces of rubber or sponge also sometimes are fixed between the outer jar and the flask. See, children, here between this and this, pieces of rubber or sponge are placed here for giving good support, for protection. We can see the silver surfaces also here, children. The flask is even covered with metal or plastic from outside. Yes, from outside. This is a structure of a thermos flask, children. Always remember, thermos flask and thermoware are two different things, children. Functions of the thermos flask. What are the functions of a thermos flask? When a hot substance is placed in a thermos flask, the heat. Now, when you place a hot substance in a thermos flask, how is it going to remain hot? What is the science behind this? The heat going out is reflected by the shining surface of the inner tube. So, heat is not transferred by radiation. Yes, this liquid is going to give out heat rays. Those heat rays fall on the shiny surface. Again, they go back inside. So, they don't go out. Again, they go back inside because of the shiny surface. So, heat is not transferred by radiation. Next, because of vacuum between the two layers, heat is not transferred by conduction or convection. This is the vacuum, children, because of vacuum. Vacuum means nothing. Vacuum means no medium. When there is no medium, heat energy cannot be transferred by conduction or convection. That is why the heat transfer by conduction or convection does not take place because of the vacuum. So, children, heat energy is not transferred by radiation. It is not transferred by conduction or convection. Heat is not transferred by any of the three ways. That is why the substances remain hot in the thermos flask. So heat transfer does not take place by any means and the substance remains hot for a longer time as we cannot make 100% vacuum. Children, you may be having a thought in your mind, okay, if the heat transfer is not taking place by any of the three ways, still it is not remaining hot forever. It becomes cool after some time. How then? Because we cannot make 100% vacuum, children. As I told you, this is not 100% vacuum. There is some air. So because of that, the substance will remain hot for quite a long time but not forever. So children, here we finish our lesson. I hope that you all have understood everything. If you have understood everything, please give a like, share it with your friends and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching till here.